Tawny, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101, and today I have a really requested video. I feel like every video I do is a really requested video because I love doing video requests from you guys. So if you guys have any other videos you want me to do, request them in the comments, on my Twitter, on my Facebook, on my Instagram, wherever, just request them. But this video has been requested so incredibly much that I knew I had to do it for you guys. This is a Makeup Geek Vegas Lights Palette review, overview, and tutorial. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and my review on this palette, as well as show you guys how I achieved this eye look with this palette. Now, as of right now, this palette is sold out on the Makeup Geek site, but I believe it's going to make a return in October. So I would sign up for her newsletter if you guys are interested in this palette. This palette retails for $37.99, and in it, you just get a mirror and then 6 eyeshadows. Now you guys can see here, I kind of had a little accident with this eyeshadow right here. I'm actually really sad about that because that is my favorite eyeshadow in the palette. But when I was doing my tutorial for you guys, I accidentally dropped something on that shadow and it kind of scraped the top of it. So let's just have a moment of silence for this eyeshadow. Okay, moment of silence over. So this is what the palette looks like. Now, I have heard a lot of critiques about this palette. There have been some people who absolutely love it, and then there are a lot of critics. So the first critique about the palette is the price. It is $38 for a 6-pan eyeshadow palette. People have been saying, you know, I could just spend a couple dollars more and get the Lorac Pro palette, which has like, you know, 18 or 16 colors in it. Others have been saying I could spend another $10 and get the Urban Decay Naked palette for that price. So what you guys have to understand with this is that other makeup brands like Lorac, like Urban Decay, like Too Faced, like all these other ones that have palettes that you are comparing to this one, those companies are producing them in bulk. They are producing them in mass quantities. And it is always cheaper to produce something in mass quantities than it is to produce in a smaller batch. So Makeup Geek is a smaller company, of course, compared to, you know, Urban Decay or Lorac. So they have to produce the number of palettes they know that they can sell, which is a smaller quantity than what Urban Decay knows it will sell. So because of that, the Makeup Geek pricing to manufacture this palette is going to be more. Therefore, they're going to charge us more. That's just something to keep in mind. It's not to say that the quality of this is better than Urban Decay or that it's worse or anything like that. It's just the fact that the Urban Decay one is mass manufactured, whereas this one is not. Moving away from the price critique, another critique I've heard is that all of the shadows are too warm toned. Now, that is something that I think you're either gonna love or hate. Now, I understand if you have a very pale complexion and you feel like these kind of warm coppers and pinks and bronzes won't look good on you, that's totally understandable. But honestly, I feel like almost every skin tone can pull off these shades. You just have to know the correct technique and the correct method. And yes, it's true, these colors may work a lot better on someone with a warmer toned skin to begin with, say for example myself, rather than someone lighter than me, but I really genuinely think anybody can make these shadows work. And I do like the fact that they are all kind of in a warm spectrum because you are only getting 6 shadows. So it would have been kind of strange if they put in just a random cool brown in here that didn't really go with the rest of the palette. That just would have been out of place. It would have been really just not functional. I like how the 6 colors are warm toned and they all work well together. Another thing I want to note about this palette is that you can actually pop these shadows out of the actual palette. They are just magnetic. So they're really, really easy to take out. You just need a stronger magnet just to pull these out, and you can replace them with other shadows. You can put in your MAC shadows, you can put in your other Makeup Geek shadows. So this is a very functional palette. So even if you do, say, finish up one of these colors that happens to be limited edition, you can just replace it with a similar color or any other color that you may like. Out of the 6 colors offered here, 5 of them are exclusive to this palette. Only this one down here, Bada Bing, can be purchased individually from Makeup Geek. So that's a little unfortunate. I kind of wish that you could purchase the other colors individually. I understand why they didn't do that, because it gives you an incentive to purchase the palette for these colors. But for example, my favorite shade, Roulette, right here, I kind of damaged it, and now I cannot replace it unless I purchase a whole new palette, which kind of sucks. So now let's talk about each of these shades individually. Starting with the top row of the palette, we have Casino, which is a really, really beautiful, true golden yellow type color. Then the next shade is called Sin City, and I think Sin City is the one in the palette that I would have exchanged if I could. This one is kind of very similar to Casino. It's a little bit more orange, and it's just not as pigmented. It's just not as opaque as I would have liked. The third shade, which is my favorite shade, is called Roulette, which is just a gorgeous, gorgeous pinky, like pinky cranberry type, almost like a duochrome shadow. It is so pretty. And then as for the bottom half of the palette, the first shade is Mirage, which is kind of like a light buttercream, kind of champagne-y gold type color. Then the next shade is Desert Sands, which is a mid-tone, very, very warm, almost like a yellowy brown. And then the last shade is a Bada Bing, which is the darkest one. It is a very dark brown with kind of a gold overlaying shimmer in it. Overall, I have to say the color choices in this palette are really nice. You're getting one highlight shade, one kind of blending transition shade, a couple of like lid type colors, and then one contour or crease shade. Despite this being a very, very warm tone palette, and despite there only being 6 colors in the palette, I do feel like it is very versatile. I feel like you could get a lot of different looks out of this. So now I'm just gonna jump into a tutorial of this eye look that I created. I think it is a very, very wearable, everyday fall type look. So let's jump right into the tutorial. So we're going to start off with our Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion, and we are going to take this all over our eyelid. I really like this anti-aging type because it's a little bit more moisturizing than the normal primer potion. Then we are going to go in with our Maybelline Color Tattoo in the shade Matte Brown. Now this is an optional step. You don't have to do it. I find that this step helps the eyeshadows to adhere to my eye a lot better, and I'm just going to take that all over my eyelid. Now we're going to get right into our Vegas Lights palette. We are going to start with the matte brown shade called Desert Sands and take this on a blending crease brush and blend it right into our crease area. Now as you can see, this color compared to the matte brown color tattoo we put is a lot warmer, but once we blend it out, it all works really well. Then we're going to take Sin City on a flat shader brush and pat this on our inner corner of our eyelid as well as the outer corner of our eyelid. Now essentially in this look, what we are trying to do is get like a sandwich color. So by putting one color on the inner and outer portions of our lid and another color in the center, we are basically going to make our eyes look more round. So we're also going to take that same Sin City color into the crease area and take our fluffy blending brush and just blend it into the Desert Sands. Now we're going to take that same stiff brush and go into Roulette, which is my favorite color in the palette, and that is going to be our center lid color. This is going to be front and center, all the attention on this color. Now to add some contour, we are going to take the Bada Bing color on a small pencil brush and just draw our outer V. And now by doing this, we're basically going to add a little bit of depth and a little bit of smokiness without it getting too out of hand, because the pencil brush gives us a lot of precise control. Then we're going to go back in with that same crease brush that we used and just blend out the edges. Now for highlight, we are going to take the lightest color in the palette, which is Mirage, and take that on the same blending brush and blend blend that right under our brow bone. Then for liner, I'm taking my Kat Von D Tattoo Liquid Liner. Sorry, I forgot to film a little close-up of this product. But we're just going to draw a thin line across our upper lash line, and we are also going to do a little wing. You guys know I love my winged liner. I think it just finishes off the entire eye look so well. Then we're going to take our eyelash curler and curl our upper lashes, and then use 2 coats of our Buxom Vanity Lash Mascara on our upper and lower lashes. Then we are going to take our Stila Stingray Smudge Stick Waterproof Eyeliner and tightline our upper waterline. In this next clip, I'm going to show you my 2 eyes compared. On the left-hand side, I have tight lines, and on the right-hand side, I have not. So you can kind of see how much that makes a difference. I hope you guys enjoyed that eye tutorial. As I told you, I think it is really, really pretty. It is a really nice everyday fall color. It gives you a little bit of like fall colors in there with that pink and copper, but it still is a little smoky with this darker color here. My overall thoughts on this palette are that it is fabulous. Top-notch quality on the eyeshadows, very, very creamy and pigmented. Once again, with the exception of Sin City, which is a little less pigmented, but it is still very, very creamy and blendable, and you can absolutely get it to work. You guys could see I used it in the tutorial just so you could see that it is still not a useless eyeshadow. It's just my least favorite. I do think this palette is worth it, even for the price tag. I know that $38 may seem like a lot for a little palette like this, especially because it is not, you know, like a higher end brand technically. But if you think about it and if you break it down per shadow, each of Makeup Geek's individual eyeshadow pans is $6 anyways. So if you think of it that way, it's $36 for just the shadow pans, and then you are paying $2 extra for the palette, which is, like I said, reusable. You can pop out all of the shadows. So overall, I do really, really enjoy this palette. I can see me getting a lot of use out of it in the fall time. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review video. It was a quick one, but I hope the tutorial was helpful as well. You know, if you guys have tried this palette, or if you're planning on trying this palette, in the comments down below, I would love to know what your thoughts are on it. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye! Very classic fall nail polish color. I always bust this color out every time fall rolls around. This is a Kate Spade purse. I believe it is called the Emmy Satchel, and it is in the shade